In this video, you're going to learn what sharenting is and why it's bad. And make sure you stick around to the end because I always leave valuable tools and resources you don't want to miss. So what is sharenting? Sharenting is when you're sharing or documenting information about your kids online. Little or small information, public or private information, but basically you're oversharing and you're sharing things that people should not know, whether it is on social media or the internet at large. Social media's purpose is for sharing. So many people share about their kids because they're proud. Maybe it's a funny moment, a really cute moment. I know you've all seen those little cute baby videos on TikTok or in any other platform. Social media is to be social, to connect to other people. Sometimes parents or other people post about kids online because it might be an inspiring story. Maybe it's a story that is a teachable moment to more parents that are dealing with issues with kids. A lot of people share for many different reasons. Sometimes they're looking for help or resources because they're struggling with something. However, while social media is for sharing, you want to be careful that you're not oversharing. So let's talk about why sharenting is bad. One thing you want to think about is your kids' privacy, safety, and security. So let's get into all three. Let's talk about privacy. Now, privacy is a really huge subject, but let's try to break it down today in something that deals with sharenting. Now, we all know that if you're sharing private moments about your kids, then you're probably going to be impeding on their privacy. You have to think as a parent, am I posting photos that I would not like someone to post of myself? Maybe that is their potty training. Maybe it's a really embarrassing moment that we find cute because they're tiny, but if they're a little bit older, they would find that a little bit too much. Sharenting can lead to privacy issues, but also can lead to safety and insecurity issues. So cyberbullying is a real thing. A lot of parents, unfortunately, you may not know this, but you're giving material for bullies to bully your kids in school, and that provides a really uncomfortable situation for your kids. So that's something that you really want to be mindful of. Another aspect of privacy is consent. We talk about consent a lot, especially with intimate moments, but consent also goes into what is posted about you online or offline. What are people saying? Did your kids consent to you sharing that much information about them online? Now, I'm highly aware that some of your kids are newborns or a couple of months old, or they don't have the capacity to understand that you're taking a picture for them for a cute post or a funny post on Facebook or TikTok or Instagram or whatever platform, right? However, you want to take those moments to think about, is this something that as they get older, they would find a little bit embarrassing, they would not like this post, and they would feel some type of way about their privacy being violated? If the question is, I don't know, or the answer is, I don't know, or maybe, then pause and decide not to post it. Because you want to be mindful about their experiences and how they understand the world and how they experience the world. It can be completely different than you. Of course, it can lead to cyberbullying, identity theft, and all of that. We'll get into that a little bit later. Another aspect of privacy is when you share a lot about your kids online that allows people to comment about things they should not be commenting on. Now, should they be saying crazy things about your kids just because you posted a picture of them or you shared a little inside story? Absolutely not. However, when you do open up your space to everyone online, you leave your kids open to criticisms. And I have seen recently in the past couple of days or couple of weeks, a lot of new moms who are like really big influencers sharing their kids' names or sharing their kid online. And you have the comment section flooded with, oh, they're ugly, or that baby looks like a potato, or that's a terrible name. Why the hell would you have your kid named that? Whatever it is. And so the mom is like left really, really confused, traumatized by the comments. Some people even send death threats because they think that the baby was ugly or the baby had a terrible name. I mean, like, the internet is a really weird place. So before you start sharing this type of information online, decide, am I able to handle the backlash or some of the nasty comments about my kid that I love, that I want to protect? And will my kid be able to handle that when they see thousands of pictures of them or videos of them online and all of these people freely commenting and freely knowing their life? And when they see you, they see the kid in public, they're like, oh, I remember when you did that, or I remember when you did that. I mean, think about as a kid when your aunt or uncle that you had no idea who they were came up to you and was like, oh, you have grown so much. Or so your mom's friend or your dad's friend, oh, they grow small, you're so cute. And you're just like, I don't even know you, ma'am. So think about your kids having that experience, but with total strangers everywhere they go, and they're unable to have private moments because these strangers believe that they have a right to your kid's life because they saw your kid grow up, and so they have a connection to your kid that is non-existent. So those are the things you have to think about a little far into the future. The second is your kids' safety. Now, of course, I just talked about random strangers online knowing who they are or feeling connected to them, and that leads to stalker behavior. And there are many, many cases of pedophilia and predators following mom influencer accounts or mom accounts in general. Even if you're not an influencer and you're just posting on Facebook and you don't have the right privacy settings, it's not on private, it's on public, or you have random people following you, even if it is on private so you don't know, or you're putting it on a random Facebook group, or you're putting it in a chat where you don't know all of the mothers there. So those are things that can impede on your privacy. Another thing, of course, is family. So family is a huge thing because you can have all of the safety and security and privacy concerns, but your family members don't. So if you do have a family member that's not respecting your kid's boundary, then that can be an issue as well. There's a lot of safety issues, of course, with kids being online, like I said, with stalkers. And as they grow older, this is a huge issue, especially if you're like a influencer or a big family. If you're not, then you typically won't have that particular problem, but you do have people that stalk kids online. So they find their photos, they have a picture, they have a file of the photos, and they're basically pedophiles. And the last thing you want, that's the last thing you want to happen with your kids. So please think about that. Lastly, let's talk about the security concerns about sharing your kids online, or oversharing rather, and sharenting. The security concerns are many, but we're going to go into a couple. Of course, there's identity theft, which is like, what do you mean identity theft? How can identity theft happen when I'm just posting cute pictures or little tiny details about my kids online? Well, all hackers or predators need is a bit of information to get going. Their birth date, their full name, their address, those type of things lead to identity theft. So if they know all of that, they can steal your kid's identity, which is very lucrative for them. Another thing is they can easily get into an account because they know your kid's birth date, they know your kid's name, they know your kid's favorite pet, they know the street that your kid grew up in, they know your kid's favorite teacher. All of those things can be answers to security questions, and it's easier for them to compile all of that and get into your account. So be mindful about all of that type of information that you're sharing online. We talked about what sharenting is and why it's bad. But what we didn't talk about is the exact pictures or videos or tidbits of information you absolutely should not be sharing online. And I have seen so many parents do this time and time again. So be sure to check out the next video that I will be linking very shortly for all of the things that you need to be looking out for to protect your kids in a digital age and not be oversharing.